Shalom. First off, I want to give all honor, all glory, and all praise to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rakakodash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, J. Messer, Ruel, Shalom, to the elect of Israel, beginning with the 144,000, and to all the Akim pushing this word. May this lesson be edifying. This is the brother Halal from the Great Millstone Chicago camp, and this lesson will be called "There Is No Rapture We Must Endure." Just basing this lesson off of a false claim that has once again been debunked from these Christians, believing that on September 23rd that a rapture would come and that they will all just be, beamed up, and delivered without going through any trials and tribulations. For those who don't know, about what a rapture is, what this rapture represents. It says, according to this AI overview, it says, according to the Bible, the rapture is an event where all believers JC is not his name is Yahweh Shai, where all believers in Yahweh Shai, living and dead, will be physically taken into heaven to meet the Lord in the air. And they take this claim from the book of 1 Thessalonians chapter 4 and verse 16, but they don't even realize that scripture, of the salvation of the elect being taken into the air is only going to be fulfilled after Jacob's trouble. That's what's going to lead to the elect being delivered in the first place, man, after the great tribulation. So I want to start this off with the book of Daniel chapter 12 and verse 1. And these are the times that we're coming into. It says, and at that time, talking about the last days, Michael shall stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation even to that same time. And at that time shall thy people be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. So after that, Jacob's trouble comes and all hell breaks loose, and you have all manner of chaos and pandemonium happening everywhere. After that, after the elect are tried as gold in the fire, that's when Yahweh B'Shem Shai is going to deliver them. But first, the servants of Yahweh B'Shem Shai has to be proven. So for you Christians that believe in this rapture, you essentially believe that the Lord is going to deliver you without you being tried as gold in the fire and without you being proven by adversity, man. So, once again, this is another false claim that has once again been debunked that you Christians have made. Secondly, let's get the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 2, and verse 1. And it says, my son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright, and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble. Cleave unto him, and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. So, all throughout the scriptures speak of the men of Yahweh B'Shem Shai. The true servants, not people following plantation Christianity. It says that they will have to go through what? Go through trials and tribulations, man. And the biggest of them all being Jacob's trouble, which is where all hell and chaos is going to break loose. And, the wicked of our people and really the rest of these heathen and Esau, Edom all across the world, they are going to be in dire straits, man. People are going to be killing each other. There's going to be cannibalism, riots, women being targeted, men seeing their children being dashed to pieces before their eyes, like it says in the, I believe, Isaiah chapter 13, verse 5. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. So how can you be tried as gold in the fire? If there's a rapture, if all the believers were destined to be beamed up before the tribulation, how can they be tried as gold in the fire if they're not proven? Let's get the book of let's get 2nd Ezra chapter 16, and I'll start at verse 22. And this is what we see playing out in the end of Esau's world. It says, hold on. Oh, Salakia. 2nd Ezra chapter 6. This is 2nd Ezra 6 and verse 22. It says, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. And the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man heareth, they shall suddenly be afraid. And that's what we're seeing, playing out right now. We're seeing the sown places appear unsown. The economy of Babylon the Great is going down at a fast rate. People are having a hard time finding jobs. Even people that went to college 4 years. Salakia for that an interruption came about, but continuing on, it says verse 24, it says, at that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountains shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. Whosoever remaineth from all these that I have told thee shall escape and see my salvation in the end of your world. So the elect are going to remain through these times. They have to be proven as gold in the fire, meaning that they're going to have to go through Jacob's trouble. There's not going to be no rapture, where the elect of Yahweh B'Shem Shai are going to be, taken up into the chariots, man, without going through temptation, without going through the fire. So I'm going to end this off. Matter of fact, this will be my second to last scripture. It is the book of Matthew, chapter 24 and 8. Matter of fact, no, so like it, verse 28 and 13, 24 and 13. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. You're right, the elect of Yahweh B'Shem Shai are ultimately going to endure into the end. They're going to go through the trials and tribulations, and like it says in Psalms 91, 1,000 shall die at thy right hand, and 1,000 at your left. The elect are going to go through the fire. There's going to be people dying all around them, but no harm is going to touch them, man. So to end it off, is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 6, and verse 16, and verse 70. It says, for there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. So there's going to be a persecution of the men of Yahweh B'Shem Shai. The government and the law enforcement are going to go after the men of the Lord, for opposing this society. Verse 72, for they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as gold in the fire. That's right. There's not going to be no rapture, where the servants of the Lord are going to be taken up into a cloud. That's not true. That's not scriptural. That's not biblical. So for all you Christians saying that the rapture was just postponed, hey, wait until all hell breaks loose and you find out that there is no rapture. When your Jesus doesn't save you, man. So I hope this lesson was edifying. And with that, I want to give all honor, all glory, and all praise to Yahweh B'Shem Shai, B'Shem Kakodash, double honors to the apostles and elders, great Muslim G. Messer rule well. Shalom, and until the next lesson.